Imagine you are walking down a busy city street. There are dozens of people around you. You feel confident, your mind is on your own business. But suddenly, out of nowhere, your foot catches a crack in the pavement. You stumble comically, your arms flail wildly, and you barely manage to hit the ground. Your face instantly turns bright red. Your stomach drops into a cold void. Your heart starts pounding violently in your throat. In that exact split second, you feel a terrifying sensation. You feel like the entire world has just stopped. You feel like you are standing in the center of a dark stage under a massive, blinding yellow spotlight. You are 100% convinced that every single eye in a 3-block radius is locked onto you. You are certain that everyone is staring, judging your clumsy mistake, and thinking, wow, what an absolute idiot. Psychologists have a specific name for this painful mental trap. They call it the spotlight effect. It is a deeply embedded flaw in human psychology, a bug in our mental software that causes us to drastically overestimate how much the rest of the world actually notices our existence, our minor mistakes, or our physical appearance. We walk through life thinking we are the main character in a movie and that everyone else is watching our performance. But here is the brutal, cold truth that your brain refuses to accept. Nobody actually cares. Nobody was looking at you. And the 2 or 3 people who did happen to glance your way, they completely forgot about your existence exactly 3 seconds later. So why does our own mind torture us like this? Why do we carry this constant, heavy weight of social anxiety? Why are we so deeply, desperately dependent on the opinions of random strangers we will never see again? To understand just how deep this illusion goes, we have to look at a famous scientific experiment from the year 2000. A professor of psychology named Thomas Gilovich decided to test this phenomenon in the real world. He wanted to see if the spotlight was real or just a ghost inside our heads. He gathered a group of college students for a research study. He selected one specific student and forced him to do something truly awkward. He made him wear a comically embarrassing, ugly t-shirt. It featured a giant loud portrait of a pop singer named Barry Manilow. To a college student at that time, wearing this shirt was a social death sentence. It was the definition of uncool. The researchers then instructed the embarrassed student to walk into a crowded room where a group of his peers was already sitting, fill out some papers, and leave after just a couple of minutes. The student was mortified. He felt like a walking target. Once he left the room, the scientist asked him a simple question. How many people in that room do you think actually noticed your ridiculous shirt? The student didn't hesitate. He was in a total panic and said, at least 50%. At least half of the room was definitely sitting there staring at my shirt and laughing at me. He was absolutely certain his spotlight was burning bright. But then, the researchers did something interesting. They secretly interviewed every single person who was sitting in that room. And the actual results shocked everyone. It turned out that only 23% of the people had noticed the shirt. Think about that. The vast majority of the students in that room were completely blind to him. They were trapped inside their own thoughts, checking their own phones, or stressing about their own upcoming exams. They didn't pay attention to the guy at all. His terrifying, blinding spotlight was burning only inside his own imagination. And it gets even crazier. Humans suffer from a related psychological bug known as inattentional blindness. We are so blind to the world around us that, in another famous study, scientists asked people to watch a video of students passing a basketball. While they were counting the passes, a literal man in a giant gorilla suit walked directly into the middle of the court, beat his chest, and walked away. Over 50% of the people watching the video completely missed the gorilla. They didn't see it at all. If people can miss a giant gorilla standing right in front of them, do you honestly think they are noticing the minor stain on your jacket, your bad hair day, or the fact that you stuttered for a second? Absolutely not. So where did this massive psychological bug come from? Why did nature design us to be so paranoid? To find the answer, we have to rewind the clock. We have to travel back across the timeline of history, back about 100,000 years into our evolutionary past. For 99% of human history, our ancestors lived in small, tight-knit tribal groups. In those ancient times, loneliness didn't just mean feeling sad. Loneliness meant instant, brutal death. You could not hunt a massive woolly mammoth by yourself. You could not protect a cave from a pack of hungry predators by yourself. Your survival, your access to food, and your safety depended entirely on one single factor, whether your tribe accepted you or not. If you did something wrong, if you appeared weak, lazy, or unreliable to the group, you risked the ultimate punishment. You risked social rejection. You risked being banished from the tribe, and being exiled into the wild 100,000 years ago was a guaranteed, painful death sentence. Because the stakes were so incredibly high, evolution built a hypersensitive, aggressive security system directly into the human brain. Our minds learned to be deeply paranoid. We evolved to care immensely about what others thought of us, because back then, a single bad impression could cost you your life. When you feel that sudden spike of panic after making a social mistake today, that is your amygdala firing off emergency signals. The ancient, primitive part of your brain doesn't understand that you are living in the modern world. It doesn't know what a smartphone or a supermarket is. It still thinks that if you do something embarrassing, the chief of the tribe will throw you out of the cave to be eaten by wolves. You are experiencing ancient survival panic in a world that no longer requires it. But the most fascinating twist in this story lies in another beautiful mental phenomenon. It is a psychological shield known as the Pratfall Effect. Scientists discovered that if a person who is generally perceived as capable, smart, or competent makes a stupid, clumsy mistake, like dropping their papers on the floor or spilling hot coffee on their shirt during a major presentation, something unexpected happens. Their attractiveness and popularity among the audience doesn't drop. It actually increases. We think we need to be flawless to be liked, but the truth is, perfect people terrify us. They feel artificial, cold, and distant. When you see someone who never makes a mistake, your brain struggles to connect with them. But when you see someone stumble, mix up their words, or make a minor fool of themselves, they suddenly feel real. Their vulnerability breaks down the walls. Their mistake makes them human, relatable, and approachable. Your flaws are not a barrier to connection. They are the bridge to it. So the next time you're standing in a crowded room, sweating over an awkward text you sent, or worrying that everyone is judging your outfit, just take a deep breath. Look around the room. Look at the faces of the strangers passing by. Remember the hidden reality. Every single person around you at this exact moment is trapped inside their own matrix. They are not thinking about you. They are completely consumed by the exact same fear. They are stressing about their own hair, their own clothes, and wondering what you are thinking about them. We are all amateur actors standing on an empty stage, terrified that the audience is judging our performance. But the beautiful, liberating truth is that the seats are empty. The spectators are not watching you. They are too busy rehearsing their own lines. Stop living your life to please a crowd that doesn't exist. Turn off the spotlight. The stage is entirely yours. What was the most embarrassing thing that happened to you recently that you can finally laugh about now? Leave your story in the comments below. Let's see how many of us are overthinking the exact same things. Hit that like button if this video helped you realize you're not under a microscope, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next deep dive into the hidden bugs of the human mind. See you in the next video.